Jacob, for sending us over to the podcast of the NFL draft following the Miami Dolphins draft class. We're gonna look into the two players that were drafted first, the first two picks for the Miami Dolphins, Shad Buchanan and Gregory Streeter. Do you have anything you want to say, Stan?
Yes. These two young men. Oh boy, it's a rivalry beyond years. They both were Pee Wee teams, but then they go to different high schools. And then things got a little tricky between these two. Shad hit Greg in the leg. The fight broke out, but
that did end his junior season. That was really bad for Greg. He was really upset following that he did have 4 scholarships going to 3 different SEC schools, including Alabama, LSU, and Auburn.
Oof, yeah, I could imagine how he felt, but he came back strong for his senior year and eventually earning a scholarship to the University of Oregon.
Yeah, and Shad went to USC where they ended up meeting each other again, where this time it was Greg laying the hit on Shad, and it was a very brutal hit, which led to Oregon actually winning the game. But following that hit, there was an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on him, and he was suspended for targeting actually the next game.
Yeah, that was very brutal, and then Oregon would later on become 8-4 in that season. Meanwhile, USC finished 11-2 and went into a Rose Bowl victory over Penn State. But then, Greg, instead of becoming a receiver for being in college, he decided to switch over to corner.
Yeah, what was it? His junior year. He switched it over. They didn't want him due to the fact they lacked enough corner depth, and he was such a good receiver. It really led him being really great at catching the ball, reading routes. It was a really great move for him, especially being 6'4".
Yeah, kind of like how Richard Sherman was when he was at Stanford.
Yeah, exactly like that. Remember when the Falcons put Julio Jones back there at safety? See how prolific he was back there. Won the game for the Falcons. A couple years back.
Overall, it really helped because both men, they were first team All-Americans in the Pac-12 and in the AP All-American.
Mm-hmm.
But that rivalry still kind of there still because they both got drafted. But over time we'll see what happens with these two.
Yeah, will they stay rivals or will they become great teammates together? They're both on the same side of the ball. Only time will tell.
We got another teammates we'll talk about. All coming from Chicago. We have Savge Frost out of Illinois State. We have Nate Ellsworth out of Illinois. And we have Stephon Simon from the University of Illinois. But at one point in time, all 3 guys...
They did win... Yep, they won that state title together. It was a blowout.
They were the college team as well at Illinois, but...
Really?
And Nate, they decided to transfer due to changes and, no playing time, that whole situation.
Yeah, the Fighting Illini were going through a tough time.
Oh boy, were they. And things were not even good for Stephon because he, like any other young guy, injuries could be a big thing.
Yeah. He had a really gruesome injury back in his second year.
His redshirt junior year and his senior year, he had the injury bug. But he decided to still pursue his dream, and he had a good solid combine time, and he did well at the Senior Bowl as well. But we'll see what his injuries can do. But meanwhile, for Nate Ellsworth, this man, he could play any position on the offensive line. Because when he was at Northern Illinois for the Huskies, he originally was at right guard. Then he moved to center.
They moved him to everywhere.
But I think his main position is center because that's what it seems like he's most controlled.
Yeah, he likes being controlled on the offensive line. Yeah. He likes looking around.
He likes physical guys. He's a big guy, so shout out to the lineman, by the way. And as for Mr. Frost, Illinois State, another small school, but he was a monster. He was like Randy Moss-esque.
He was very great, Yeah, he was really good. I haven't seen that kind of slot ability in a while with somebody that's not the fastest guy in the world, but you put the ball near him, he's grabbing it and he's not letting go.
He's listed at 6'4", 220, and that's a great red zone for Miami because consider they have small guys,
and following the loss of Kenny Stills.
Ooh, that was a big loss.
Yeah, they might have found his replacement if they don't find it in Ant or Devontae Parker.
Let's see what happened with them. hopefully those 3 guys, good luck to them first of all, and hopefully
Former
they can
teammates.
have a good spot. Yeah, former high school teammates. And
They might still have that chemistry.
who knows?
Oh, Donnie McDonald, former actual cornerback coming out of high school. He went to Stanford coming out of high school. Went to a very prolific high school, by the way. What high school did he go to again?
St. John's College Prep, that's in the DC area.
No.
The DC area.
Yeah, he did stay in. He stayed in the DC area. Went to Stanford on a scholarship. Ended up tearing his ACL his freshman year. Then broke his foot his sophomore year, forcing him to transfer out to Delaware after he lost his scholarship. In Delaware, he managed to become a great safety. Was able to was able to cover the run. Was able to show off his true talents at safety since he lost some of his speed coming from all those injuries and coming out of his cornerback ability. He still has the great cover skills. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was about to say that, Jacob. Because it's a silver lining to all of this. Because he went from a big Pac-12 school to a more FCS school. But I see how he can really transform the whole safety position, even though he don't have the speed like he used to. But he's a great ball hawk. I can say that he knows where the ball's going to be at any time. Long pass, short pass. It's almost like he's a linebacker in the safety spot.
And that's the kind of people they're looking for nowadays, especially since he has the man coverage coming from the corner. He's a do-it-all type of player. He has the ability to cover. He has the ability to hit. He has the ability to catch the ball. He has the speed to keep up with most tight ends that a lot of safeties nowadays don't have. So we're going to see how he works out.
Considering the fact that, Rashad Jones is really regressing because he's, getting older. So you think that would help as well?
Yes, that might be the replacement they're looking for. Since he's getting older in age, Rashad Jones might have a person he can mentor on this time, and a person that's already better at coverage than him. So let alone, let's see what he could do if he has Rashad Jones type of block shed and blitz the passer ability.
Only time will tell. Congratulations to this young man getting drafted by, our defending Super Bowl champion Miami Dolphins. Go Dolphins.
Coming in next for the Miami Dolphins, they have not Nate. They have Ryland Warren, left tackle out of Oklahoma. Growing up in Texas with his friend Brady Pruce, they actually grew up together in a foster home where they ended up going to different colleges. Yes, but Ryland Warren didn't receive the scholarship, such like Brady Pruce did to Texas. Actually, Ryland Warren received a scholarship to the rival Oklahoma school that he took. This did create this didn't affect their friendship as much, but there was some disdain between the two, seeing that he did go to a rival school. But Ryland Warren, after being moved around the whole offensive line, even blocking for Browns quarterback now, Baker Mayfield, he proved himself to be really great. Do you have anything you want to say, Stan?
Yes, actually, the center fact between this man and Orlando Brown Jr., who also was a part of the Oklahoma team, that's how I compare both of them, almost like another version of Trent Williams, because how big and physical these guys are in the trenches. And just like you said about him moving around the line, his main position to me is like the right tackle position. Because Dolphins, they had trouble with that right tackle position last year. Don't you agree?
Yeah, they did. Aside from running the ball, it was really tough for them to get really going. They didn't really have the greatest pass protection in the world, but since they ran a lot of deep routes and when receivers like Tyreek Hill and Kenny Stills were able to break free, often they were able to beat their matchups and all the linebackers were pressing always, and a lot of the safeties were too because they were such a run-first offense with Kalen Ballage. It looks like he can bring a lot of much-needed pass blocking and run blocking ability to the team.
Also, if I can maybe throw a challenge in there, I like to see how you do against pass rush from that left side, the Von Millers and the Ndamukong Suh, Aaron Donald type of players. How do you think he would do against especially J.J. Watt? That'd be a tough matchup for him. What you think?
I think he has the power to stop them. I don't know if he's worked on his footwork and his finesse ability yet to be able to keep up with such players such as the J.J. Watts. He's not going to be getting bull rushed often, but they'll be able to finesse him with more jab steps, swing moves, spin moves, such as that. Next we have
Brady Pruce.
Phone. Huge long shot coming out of Texas. TCU. I'm sorry. There's so many schools in Texas. It's hard to keep up. But coming out of there, he got his scholarship as a walk-on. Following, he wanted to stay in his hometown. With his brother going to his brother Rylan Warren going to Oklahoma. He felt really betrayed, but he promised he would go out there and give it everything he got. He finally gets drafted as the last pick in the NFL draft. He looks like he has some potential.
Is that Mr. Irrelevant?
Yep, he is Mr. Irrelevant. Can you believe it? The long shot becoming Mr. Irrelevant.
He's listed at 5'11".
5'11", 199 pounds. That is right. And since he is so small, it's hard to see him making an NFL roster as a safety. But he looks like he has the potential. What he's been doing when he was at TCU, he was giving it everything he got, every play. He ended up becoming a special teams captain. He did. He ended up becoming returner of the year his junior season, following an injury late in the year. He was still following an injury in their bowl game, in the Citrus Bowl. He was able to still go on and play his senior season. He played half of his senior season. Played the back half of it. Helped TCU get a victory over Oklahoma State. And it was a great game. He had the game-ending interception, but for a player that's not known to do really that much, he was always out there giving the best he got. There was low expectations of him coming out of high school. Nobody really wanted to give him a chance. He was a walk-on at TCU, ended up getting a scholarship. It was really good that we saw some player like him. He has pretty good man coverage for a person being that small, but he needs to work on his coverages a little bit more. He needs to work on his tackling, hit power. He's more of a project-style player for the Dolphins, which gives them a lot of time, since they do have Donnie McDonald, and they have what's his name, Rashad Jones, to teach him how to become a better player.
And also, to add on to that, I get more of a Pat Tillman vibe from him, because just like Pat Tillman was, short, undersized, kind of like a linebacker, but really in the same spot, who can really lay down the hit. That's what I got from him. Seeing him at TCU, maybe like some of the late Pat Tillman's game to rub up on Brady Bruce, and who knows what will happen in Dolphins.
You might have just found their franchise safety right there.
Like you said, for all these young gentlemen, only time will tell. Mm-hmm. Got anything else to say, Jacob?
Thank y'all for hanging out with us on this evening, following the NFL draft as we went over the Miami Dolphins draft class. Make sure you tell everybody how you enjoyed it. Make sure you talk to your family and friends. If you leave any comments down on the video, if you have anything to say about the draft class, if you feel like the Dolphins should have went with a different player, if you expected them to go differently, following a lot of stuff, and the Dolphins have gone through a lot, following the leaving of Kenny Stills, the retirement of Cameron Wake beforehand, but they look like they got a good team. Look like they could create a dynasty.
We'll see for this year. Let's see if we can have a repeat champion. Let's go for Fins. I am Stan Whitmore, along with Jacob Moore. Thank you for listening to our podcast. Go, go, go.
This is Channels Television's breaking news.
Following a major disdain from cornerback Darrell Garrison, he is demanded a trade from the Miami Dolphins, and the Miami Dolphins have granted him his wish, with him, Brock Osweiler, and Gavin Escobar will be traded to the Arizona Cardinals for strong safety Budda Baker. Miami Dolphins.